say something, I'm back. Before we get to it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you watch the full video. Let's jump into it.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're gonna be speaking on Ola Runt, accusing Florida rapper Glokknine of going out bad and allegedly snitching. September 19th, 2023. Atlanta rapper Ola Runt would take to Twitter with a surprising accusation saying, "Damn Glokknine, you went out bad," followed by 2 rat emojis. This was enough for the fans and bystanders on the internet to take off with rumors and speculation as Orlando rapper Glokknine was now accused of snitching. This was the same rapper who's been hit with a Florida RICO, tied to a gang war within Orlando, and allegedly shot up his own cousin's house for being in an opposite gang. But the craziest aspect of this new allegation isn't the actual allegation. It's the fact that Ola Runt is calling him out while both rappers are currently in the same federal prison. Ola Runt was arrested back in 2020 within Operation Phoenix, an FBI takedown of 12 of Atlanta's
Which I think, man, this is just like a call for attention. Like he was seeking, some type of fame, some extra fame, or to make his name start trending before he come home or something, or what? What y'all think about this, man? Because this is crazy.
violent offenders. He'd be indicted by the feds after being found in possession of an FN-57 pistol loaded with 21 rounds, and after a guilty plea, he'd be sentenced to 57 months in federal prison. Glokknine, on the other hand, was named as the leader of a gang known as the Army, or AFNF, based in the Mercy Drive area of Orlando. He'd be one of 34 people indicted on RICO charges stemming from what law enforcement described as a war with the rival 438 gang based around Silver Star Road. Over 30 shootings, several homicides, and many other crimes would be listed within the indictment. Glokknine would plead guilty to weapons and fraud charges, receiving 7 years in federal prison. Now, West Virginia is a state known for little and home to one of the most notorious penitentiaries, USP Hazleton. Known as Misery Mountain, it's made headlines in recent years with the infamous prison murder of Irish crime boss Whitey Bulger, who met a brutal ending only hours after arriving. 3 hours south of USP Hazleton is another prison, FCI Beckley. A federal correctional institution built on the mountains of West Virginia, Beckley is a medium security prison that houses over 1,600 inmates. While less violent than the neighboring USP, multiple inmates within the last 2 years pled guilty to possessing prison-made weapons at Beckley, a charge punishable by up to another 5 years in the feds.
Damn.
But in the last year, FCI Beckley has become more known for the amount of rappers being sent there. Just in the last 2 months, photos have emerged of Georgia rapper Fujiano and Florida rappers Psycho Bob and Glokknine all together in prison. But the photo that's circulating now more than ever is of none other than Ola Runt and Glokknine. Both rappers have ties to the infamous Sex Money Murder gang, have rapped about it in lyrics, and both rappers can be seen in pictures using Sex Money Murder's infamous pistol gang sign. Why is this relevant? This means the two are a part of the blood car in the feds, and the majority of those in prison pictures with them can be seen throwing up blood gang signs. For those unfamiliar with the federal prison system, while divided by race, the inmates are further divided by states and gangs. This would mean the obvious, Glokknine and Ola Runt are technically allies. But Ola Runt attempting to expose Glokknine would leave many scratching their heads as to how and why.
Oh God!
Sources
why?
close to the situation would state they received news Glokknine was involved in a fight, and it may have been recorded by an inmate with a phone. As a result, Glokknine has been placed in confinement, while those close to him wait for his call to give his side of the story. The rumor is Glokknine was snitching, but his paperwork says otherwise. The biggest red flag within a federal case would be a 5K1 motion, which essentially means a sentencing reduction in return for substantial assistance in the prosecution of others, aka snitching. Glokknine definitely doesn't have a 5K1, but what was interesting is a few pages of his plea deal. On page 6, the 12th term of the plea is cooperation, in which the defendant, or Glokknine, agrees to cooperate fully with the U.S. investigation and prosecution of others and to testify. If his cooperation is completed prior to sentencing, the government agrees to consider a 5K1. Glokknine would sign his initials, agreeing to the terms of the plea. But before everyone starts accusing him of snitching, this is why doing your homework is critical. Within the change of plea transcripts, Glokknine's lawyer would address what was written, stating his client had no intent to actually cooperate. It was stated in court there had been no cooperation, no intent to cooperate in the future, and the courts agreed to strike those paragraphs with a pen and refile the plea. The amended plea agreement would then be filed showing the changes to Glokknine's plea, and checking the dates of both files, Glokknine had signed the original plea and had the plea deal changed the very next day to clarify he isn't cooperating and he isn't snitching. Not only that, but Glokknine would write a letter to a judge while he was incarcerated in Orlando. Back in 2020, Glokknine was shot at while at the mall at Millennia. 2 men would be arrested for the broad day shooting, and Glokknine would literally write a letter to the judge naming both men who were arrested and stating, "I do not wish to press charges on or against Trayvon Graham or Joshua Holder due to the facts that I do not believe those are the individuals that shot at me. I don't have a clue who shot at me, it all happened too fast, but to my knowledge, I don't believe those individuals had anything to do with the shooting incident, and I am not interested in attending any deposition or anything else involving the case." Whether or not the 2 men actually shot at Glokknine.
Now that's something you ain't never heard of. I ain't never heard of that. You write a letter to the judge saying the people who supposedly shot at you are not the people. Let them go. That's crazy.
And were members of a rival gang, Glokknine clearly wanted nothing to do with their case, and even went as far as saying he doesn't think they had anything to do with it. An act like that is something even his rivals would have to respect. With his federal paperwork clean, if Glokknine at any time cooperated in his state RICO, his state co-defendants would have been the first to announce it. So it's unclear what exactly Ola Runt is claiming. An Instagram account belonging to an inmate who claims to have witnessed the fight and also recorded it, claims someone took Glokknine's property, and instead of handling it with violence, Glokknine told, which doesn't make any sense if Glokknine still got into a fight. The following day, it was said that the actual issue was Glokknine's plea deal, meaning someone looked into Glokknine's case, saw an opportunity, and took it. Meaning they either didn't do their homework on how the plea deal was corrected, or they just wanted to make Glokknine look bad and remove him from the prison yard, not knowing that I was going to actually look into the paperwork. Either way, this could have resulted in deadly consequence. And now that the paperwork has been cleared up, we can only wait and see if those who accused Glokknine will go as far to correct the situation as they did to ignite it. Now this is a dangerous accusation because you have 2 people within the same group at the same federal prison. And you know, as they say, when you go to federal prison, you gotta show everybody your paperwork, which doesn't make any sense because nowhere in any of Glokknine's paperwork does it say he cooperated at all. And if he didn't have that paper, the amended plea that got scratched out with the bullshit, that means someone had a reason to go looking. Someone maybe didn't like him. Glokknine's either girlfriend or baby mother is saying she doesn't know why Glokknine was hanging with them because they've been begging him for food and some more shit, which already creates a weird situation. We don't know what type of envy could have been behind this, but it seems like somebody found that old plea and said, look here, he signed off, he was willing to cooperate. And most likely, as he was doing so, told his lawyer, look, bro, I'm not fucking cooperating. So tomorrow, you need to fix this shit and get this shit right. And the very next day, his lawyer went to court and said, look, my client isn't cooperating, hasn't cooperated, doesn't plan to. Y'all need to fix this paperwork because this looks crazy. And they literally scratched it out. And what's fucked up about this is when you go on the website to look at the federal paperwork, the plea deal is right above the amended plea, which means either somebody didn't know what the fuck they were doing, saw one thing and didn't look at anything else, or they just chose not to acknowledge what cleared his name. They took a piece of paper that could make him look bad and potentially get him hit.
They probably seen the whole thing, still just ran with the first one. Like, oh, you signed it, so you was probably gonna do it, but you changed your mind. So the first thing, your first thought, that mean, yeah, no, bruh.
On the prison yard and said, hey, look, he's snitching. That's fucked up. It's a dangerous game. That means somebody didn't like him that much that they try to pull some fluke shit on him. And if you look further into the paperwork, you can read the transcripts of his lawyer clarifying the entire situation and the courts agreeing and amending the plea. This is why when you do what I do, it's essential to do as much homework as possible. Because when you put a jacket on somebody's name, like they've tried to do with me, that shit can result in deadly fucking consequence. A lot of people don't care. A lot of pages are fake pages or hiding behind a screen where they don't show their face, but they're pumping this shit out left and right, making these type of accusations.
Oh, God, that's why I don't
as
even
far
pay no
as I'm
attention
concerned,
to it,
I've been covering Glokknine for a couple of years now. Never once seen anything bad on his name. That's why I jumped right into it. Like, all right, I'm gonna get down to the bottom of this. So unless there's something that we don't know about that happened in prison, where they're saying he snitched in prison, I have no fucking idea. And that more so falls on the people in prison to put that out there. But as far as his current paperwork, I can stamp everything looked good. I've looked through it. If I'm wrong, correct me. But as far as everything I've seen, ain't nothing wrong with Glokknine. It's 1090J. Drop y'all's thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure that y'all go to the comment section and let me know y'all thoughts, y'all opinion. Catch you later.